Kia ora, everybody, and welcome to the Anglican Women Studies Centre virtual theology chat. And I'm particularly happy to welcome tonight Quandolita, Reid, Enari, who is the newest counsellor for the Anglican Women Studies Centre. Lita is in Samoa, and we're really looking forward to hearing from you. So over to you, Lita.
Thank you, Caradwin. I hope I'm loud and clear for everyone.
You're very loud and clear. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Talofa, my sisters in Christ. I would firstly like to thank AWSC for the opportunity to speak tonight. I was privileged to have been asked as a new counselor for the Anglican Women Studies Centre to speak on this important virtual theology series. I've titled my story as Olo'o Valaauina, simply translated as my calling. I use this title as I reflect on who I am, how I came to be, and who I have become. I say this as I contemplate on my childhood, teenage years, and now as an adult, how I was taught and brought up. It is as if I was molded to be who I now become. My calling is what I believe I have been prepared and shaped to become. I have served the church from a young age in the Sunday school, as an acolyte, a youth member, vestry secretary, AAW treasurer, lay synod rep for the Diocese of Polynesia, archdeaconry secretary and treasurer, the MCM coordinator for Samoa, a link for the AWSC, and recently the Overseas and Outreach Coordinator for the Diocese of Polynesia, AAW, and as a counselor for the AWSC. And this is my story. I've structured the story into 3 parts. First one, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my goal in life? How am I linked to the church? Secondly, why me? Why am I here? What expectations are on me? How did I accept God's calling? And lastly, my response to God's calling for me. Who am I? My story is based on the 3 integral parts of my life as a Samoan woman. The triangle of my life. It starts with my ainga or my family. Where do I belong? Where do I come from? Who are my parents? What is my whasinamanga? What is my identity? Who are my ancestors? Who are my relatives? What is my family's background? For me, families boost our confidence and make us feel loved. They are the pillars of our strength who never fall. Instead, keep us strong so we become better people. We learn the values of love, respect, faith, hope, caring, culture, ethics, traditions, and everything else that concerns us through our families. Family for me also offers a safety net for emotional well-being, unconditional love. The love from family is often lifelong and uncompromising. Family's involvement can positively impact academic performance and life history. In the church, how am I connected to the church? Why is the church important to me? What have I done for the church? What is my relationship with the church? In our lives, the church plays a very important role in our lives. As early as we knew it, we are expected to respect the church, give to the church, both in kind, financial, and through service. Evening prayers are a must and is a way of thanking God for the day's work and for continuous blessings throughout. In my country, what is my contribution to Samoa's development? What have I done? What can I give back to them? Who am I in the Samoan context? I am a Samoan Tamaitai. I I am the tamasa, or sacred covenant. I am the one who should be instrumental at setting affairs in order and establish harmony. And I should be the one producing traditional and cultural treasures. Who am I? My name is Quandolita, as I was introduced. I'm the eldest of 6 siblings and a twin. I live in Samoa. I'm a teacher by profession. I love challenges. I was born into the Anglican faith. My mother is a staunch Catholic, and my father was a seasonal Anglican. I was baptized, confirmed, and married at the All Saints Anglican Church in Leififi, Apia, Samoa. Married with 3 children, 2 boys ages 22 and 19, and 1 girl age 9. Both my maternal and paternal grandparents were not clergy, but believed in the blessings from the church. They gave their best for the church, so from a very young age, I was expected to go to church, do all things churchy, not to miss a service that was held at the church, and morning devotions at 6:30 a.m. was a must. Easter was the event. On Monday, Thursdays, my grandmother will go for her watch at 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning. I tagged along to please her, but fall asleep as soon as we arrived. Me and my sister, being twins, will always be the soldiers, hung on the cross together with Jesus, as celebrated during the 3-hour devotion on Good Fridays. My paternal grandmother was also into Emanuelu, a group of prayer warriors who meet on Friday nights from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Saturday to take part in a prayer group. I was taken against my will to accompany my grandmother. As years went by, I realized how dedicated this group to their calling and started listening when I went. My maternal grandmother, a staunch Catholic, would go to morning mass at 5:30 a.m. When we spent the weekend with them, this was the ritual: Monday morning mass before riding the bus to school in Apia. My parents were not churchgoers as we grew up. They would encourage us to go to church and do all the fundraisings and church-related events, but only attend to watch us perform for Easter and White Sunday. In our later years, our parents started going to church. Dad became a lay minister, and Mom now a strong prayer warrior for our family. So you see, I was prepared from a young age to work for the church. Who am I? I'm the Valaauina. Being the firstborn child, I was the first to leave the nest for further education in New Zealand. I was the first from my family to graduate from university, so you imagine the expectations. Growing up, lunch was either a cabbage and carrot sandwich, or siamu popo, we call in Samoan coconut jam, or just plain butter sandwich. That's for primary. At secondary, it was a 5 tala for lunch and bus fare for the week. Me and my twin sister would save our money for ice blocks and walk home, arriving home to bread and coconut or papaya. We played until 4 o'clock p.m., then rushed to do the chores before Mom comes home. While I was pursuing my academic studies, my siblings held the fort for me. My parents were both out of work, and we were into making banana chips, bake cookies, and sell barbecues to get us through. Evenings were spent looking at the cars pass by on the road, and if lucky, sharing 1 bottle of Coke amongst the 6 of us. Eggs were saved for special occasions, with birthdays only celebrated with prayer and special meal. That was our humble beginnings. Who am I in the church? I have learned to speak and be confident in myself. At a young age, we attended Sunday school. Through Sunday school, we built our confidence to stand in front of people and perform for scriptures and skits on special occasions. As a young person, I was a member and leader for the Acolytes team and a youth group member. These organizations allowed me to flourish on my leadership and management skills. The gap was when I was offered a scholarship to attend university in Hamilton, New Zealand. The 5 years I was away gave me the opportunity to be a teacher, learning the reins of teaching in secondary schools. The New Zealand Overseas Development Assistance sponsorship was a great help for me and my family, as finances could not afford university fees. After 5 years, I returned a qualified secondary teacher and started assisting at Sunday school. There was a time when I was the only Sunday school teacher with about 30 to 35 young children. I have served under 3 priests as a Sunday school teacher before I was asked to look after the Sunday school, now called the Moana Children's Ministry, or MCM, in our tikanga. My introduction to AAW came in the form of a young mother, needed to support and do the runaround for the elderlies. I registered and liked it. They nominated me to be a treasurer, a position I hold up to today, 4 years in total. As a vestry member, I have been elected as secretary for the current sitting. I have been in vestry before, but had to let go as there were other areas I believe needed my support. As a Senate rep, I am required to be on the Archdeaconry Council and act as Secretary Treasurer, a post I've held since 2015 up to today. These posts and positions have shaped my life and added to my calling to serve the church in different ways. This is my calling, not as a clergy, not as a lay minister, but serve through different avenues as a lay person. Who am I in my country? In my country, I'm a teacher by profession. I worked as a secondary teacher. I work as a policy and research and policy analyst, a policy developer, a planner, and a project manager. I worked for the Ministry of Education, Sports and Culture for 16 years as a policy and research officer and an assistant chief executive officer looking after strategic policy and planning. I worked as a CEO for the Ministry of Health for 5 years and as a program manager for social protection program under UNDP for 2.5 years. And currently with the Ministry of Women, Community and Social Development as program manager for the Samoa Disability Partnership Program, working in partnership with people with disability to improve access and their lives. In all, my family, the church, and my country has shaped me to where I am today. They gave me the opportunity to flourish and find a niche in this world and accept my calling. Why me? I believe God has already planned and designed my life for me. He destined me for who I am now. Even before I was able to walk and talk, God had my blueprint. He knew my every move. He knew my every action. In His time, He has revealed that blueprint for me. Proverbs 31 verse 27 says, "She is always busy and looks after her family's needs." This resonates with my calling, not only in the home, but also in the country and the church. I have been called to do the work of God through the different phases of life. Everything I do is part and parcel of my calling. On the other hand, as the eldest child, the expectations are to do well in school and set the benchmark for siblings. Get a scholarship to motivate the siblings. Get a job to help support the family. Be the one to be in the front for the good and the bad. Be the one to take on all the challenges. Be the role model for the siblings to follow. Be the go-to person to help the young siblings. Look after the family and provide for their every need. Why me and not her? As noted in the beginning, I have been molded, foretold, prophesied, and destined for who I am and where I am today. Our family psalm and one that I recite for courage and support is Psalm 23. I picked only the first few verses as it inspires calmness and provides for my every need. He guides me in the right path and where I am safe. Suggests the Lord is all that a person really needs, that God's shepherding care provides all that is essential for life. We can always depend on him. Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6, it teaches us to acknowledge God's wisdom in our lives. With all the work experiences I have encountered, that is God's calling for me. I put my trust in him. He will guide and provide for me. He has put me to different places to fulfill my responsibilities to my family, to the church, and to Samoa. I have put my trust in him for what he knows best for me. Here I am, Lord, send me. In Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8, the prophet was asked whom they should send and who will go as their rep. Isaiah replied, here I am, send me. Here I am, Lord, send me. This is my response to God's calling. And it reminds me of the song, here I am, Lord, if you lead me, I will hold you in my heart. The lyrics are about being called by God and trusting him to walk with me through everything. My story is part of God's plan. I am filled with immense gratitude as I acknowledge that God had prepared me over the years and a lifetime of working in his presence to begin a new life to help others to understand God's work. Who I am today is because he directed my path. He showed me the way. The blessings I have is his plan for me to receive and share it with others. It is not mine to keep, but to share and give back to him. My life is an offering. Eleanor Powell once said, what I am is God's gift to you. What I become is my gift to God. What I have achieved in my response to God's call for me, he gave me a gift, and I shall return to him threefold. Whatever post I hold, whatever job I receive, I owe it to God, and he is the source of my faith, my skills, and blessings. A retired sergeant in the U.S. Army, Russell Perlin, once said, I submit to whatever you have planned for me, Lord. Use me in spite of my failures, weaknesses, and fears as your representative in my family, at work, and in the church. God bless. Kaftai.
That's lovely. Lita, we weren't able to see you, but we saw your beautiful images and graphics, and we saw your lovely clear outline. So you really have given us a very beautifully put together story. Thank you so much for putting all that time into it and telling it with such warmth and sincerity. Thank you very much. In a minute or two, we will give people a chance to talk and ask questions and make comments. I'm just going to stop the recording now so that it can become more informal.